Are you looking for a new edition?
You mean the group with Bobby Brown in it?
I told you it wouldn't work in front of a live studio audience.
Well, your cousin was the only one we could get to show up.
Alright, well, let's get into the review of Alien Frontiers, 5th edition. Hi, this is JT, and welcome to G Club. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button to see other board game related videos, such as interviews and epic board game trailers. In our reviews, we talk about the best moment of the game, tell you whether or not we like it, and get into the pros and cons, and even some comparisons and conclusions. So without further ado, let's get into our review of Alien Frontiers, 5th edition. When you use the terraforming station to land your final colony and take control over a territory to push you ahead of your opponents for the win, well, that's gotta be the best moment of the game. In Alien Frontiers, you are competing with other players to colonize an abandoned alien planet. You'll win by being the best at assigning your fleet to various orbital facilities, using discovered alien technologies, and using resources found in the territories you control. In orbit, you will use your fleets to visit the alien artifact, where you can discover alien technology for your use. You can also build or launch a colony at the Colonist Hub, expedite the process by visiting the colony constructor with 3 identical ships, or scrap one of your 6 valued ships to build and launch a colony onto the planet from the terraforming station. You also collect ore from the lunar mine, and use the solar converter to gain fuel based upon the value of your ship. You may also go to the orbital market to exchange fuel for ore. Visit the Raiders Outpost with 3 sequential valued ships to steal resources or an alien technology from another player. Looking for additional ships to add to your fleet? Well, look no further than the shipyard, where you can place ships and the fuel and ore required to add an additional ship to your fleet, where it will rest in the Metnitz Bay. With having a majority of colonies in a territory, you can leverage the advantages given to you for controlling the territory, such as paying less for ships at the shipyard, or always get the best trade ratio at the orbital market. With those alien tech cards comes a wealth of ways to give you an advantage, whether it's allowing you to use gas to modify your ships, or using a repulsor field to prevent colonies from being added or removed to a territory. The game will end immediately once a player lands their last colony on a territory, and if you have the most victory points from the colony tokens, controlling territories, certain alien tech cards, and control of the positron field at the end of the game, then you will win Alien Frontiers. When you use the terraforming station to land your final colony and take control over a territory to push you ahead of your opponents for the win, well, that's gotta be the best moment of the game. That was the best moment of the game, but did I like it? Yes. First time I got to play this was with an older edition a number of years ago, and fell in love with it then. Since then, with the 5th edition, well, it's clean, it's got new artwork, and dice worker placement. Let's get into all the reasons why, and the pros and cons of the balancing act. Have I mentioned that one of my favorite mechanics is dice worker placement? Dice worker placement. Downtime can be an issue in this game because you're not rolling the dice until the beginning of your turn. This game is easy enough to pick up, so newer players actually have a shot at winning. Once again, they keep beating me. For some people, this is a con, and it's that dice equal luck. The components in this game are solid, especially those pop-o-matic colonies. Higher player counts can drag out the game. So of course that means at lower player counts, the game does clip along and feels like it flows a lot better. Now, while it is cool, that little gray die is sometimes a little hard to read. Alien Frontiers has great components, fun gameplay, and dice worker placement. Dice worker placement. Now, other games that I like that have dice worker placement would be Euphoria and The Voyages of Marco Polo, who might be able to actually trace back their use of that mechanic to Alien Frontiers. So building up resources using alien tech cards to break the rules, now pacing your friends and controlling territories with your Pop-O-Matic colonies is really just a lot of fun. Now, the only major complaint I have about the game can be the downtime, and when you play it at the higher player counts, such as 4 players, or I think 5 players with the expansion, it'll take a little bit, right? And the reason why is because you don't roll your dice until the beginning of your turn. So while you might have some ideas of things that you can plan for in the beginning, ultimately you have to deal with the luck of the roll and then make the decisions based off of what you have. So unless you get exactly what you're looking for, sometimes your turn can be a little bit analysis paralysis prone, and it can really throw you off if you're not getting a roll anywhere close to what you were looking for. And then there's the factor of luck, right? Because you're rolling dice, so that's something you have to consider if that's really a problem for you. If you don't like luck, then you're probably not going to want to mess with this game. Now, there are ways, of course, to mitigate that luck by being able to manipulate the dice, but ultimately, it is a dice game. Also, when it comes to playing, if you can get it down to that 2 or 3 player game, then that really is kind of the sweet spot here. So if you don't mind the luck and you can get this game down to a 2 or 3 player game, then I would definitely consider adding this to your collection. However, if you love sci-fi, especially space themes, and you want a game that has stood the test of time getting through 5 different editions, has a ton of support through a lot of different expansions, and has dice worker placement, then I would definitely go out and snag a copy of Alien Frontiers 5th edition. Now, if you like this video, you can check out this other video content that our G Club Lab Techs has picked out specifically for you. Even if you don't like dice worker placement, you could go with one of these videos. Trust me, just roll with it.